Welcome to this video in which we want to show you how you can gather data from different data sources, from different, for example, GTFS data sources, and get them into the same map. And in addition, how data from different modes is treated and is visualized. So as an example, we have here the city of Lisbon, and we would like to get metro data into the map and bus data. They're planned completely independently. And let's start with the metro data. I have found here an open data source, which is has also the Metro de Lisboa in. And I can go into this data source, so into this provider and GTFS. And we have here, it seems to be a relatively up-to-date GTFS dataset from January 2024, and I'm downloading this dataset to my local system. It seems to have downloaded. I can now go to the downloads and I unzip it, and I call this here the metro.gtfs. Okay, I have this here in my download folder. As a next step, I'm downloading bus data. I have here a website called Dados Abertos. This is Caris Metropolitana. This is the bus data. There is a link here that brings me to a GitHub site, which we have here. And if I scroll down on this page, sometimes it's a bit difficult to find. Down here, we have the official GTFS feed for Caris Metropolitana. And here is the GTFS dataset for Caris Metropolitana. I'm downloading this as well. I go to my download site, and I'm saying here this is the bus. Leave the operator in, and I'm calling this here GTFS, and I'm unzipping it here as well. So now I have the data on my local system. Move now to the system where my software is running, and I have here to navigate to the download folder just to get it nicely organized. I have here my downloads folder, oops, and I should have here my bus data that I'm moving here because I'm having this then nicely organized. And here is the metro data, and then I can forget my downloads. Now I have here on my desktop, I have a folder TML video, and I have the bus data, and I have the metro data side by side. We can have a look into it. This is a proper GTFS data set, and this here is the metro GTFS data set. Now I'm going to import these data sources into my system. I had prepared this already, so I'm creating now a data source, a new data source. I use here import new data into the system, and I have here my my Lisboa metro data. It has been analyzed, it's conformant. I have here those routes in. They are of type metro, which we will come to, also important in a few minutes. I'm calling this, let's call this for this video, this is the metro data. Importing this, done, closed. I have here now the video metro. And as a second one, I'm taking Caris Metropolitana in. This is a relatively large data source. Here we go. We have loaded it, Caris Metropolitana. You see it has a lot of routes in. And I'm calling this for my video the bus data. But we don't want to necessarily always have all routes in my data source. And this is a quite nice feature. I can say, do not take all data. We can sort by short name. We can also sort it by long name. I'm doing this by short name. And for our video that we see now a little bit the interconnects between bus and metro, I will decide to import the data for 4701, 4702, 4703, 4704, 05, 06, 07, just in this area here. Just I'm taking here a couple of routes in. I'm importing that. I can actually call this also then maybe partial, that I know afterwards what I've done. I can also see for map test or whatever. I'm importing that. Import is completed. I can close it. And now I have my full metro data and I have partial bus data, depending on what I want to do with it. I can close this now. And now it's time to get this data into a map. So we create a new scenario, which I call TML video, let's say raw data. You see I've prepared already a filter here that later on we don't see all the other maps that I'm working on. And I say, okay. And what we are doing now, we are creating a blank map. This map will have nothing in as of now. You will see this later on. You will have here the routes, you have the geographic view, you have here the schematized view, but we have nothing in yet. We need to load data into the system right now. And this here in the center, I can have a lot of different options how I can load data into the system, but we use transportation data, which is this button here. I'm clicking this, and now in the up left corner here, I select now my data. And let's start with the metro. I have here this video metro that we have created together, downloaded fresh from the internet. And then we have here the preview. We could have multiple agencies inside, but here's the Metro de Lisboa. And we have here all the routes. I'm not familiar with the network, but for simplicity, I'm selecting here all routes. And here is my moving button to my import folder. I pressed it, and now I see here on the right side my all the routes that I intend to import. I have a lot of options that I can pick, which is not relevant for this video now. And here on the lower right corner is our import button. And now we have loaded the metro lines into the system. We see now here is geographic view, and here is the schematized view, which look the same because we have not started to automate yet or to make any design. So I can now go through the different routes here. Then I see here the route color. I can also double click on a route that I can go on onto the stop level. I have a lot of options what I can do with the information. But what I wanted to draw attention to is this field here, route type, which is in this case metro. You can theoretically manipulate it here, but we recommend not doing that because this has been set in the GTFS data set and then recognized by us as a metro line. All right, so we have the metro data in our map. Now let's get the bus data into the map. And as you can already guess, we are again going to the import button, but now we are changing here from the import metro, we are changing our data source up here. And if I click on this, I can now go to the bus data. I load this in. And you remember, Caris Metropolitana, and these are the routes that we have selected. This is why it's selective Caris Metropolitana. And for this particular map, I'm not even using all of those. I'm just using here a few of those. By the way, if you have here, you click on a route, you see in this field here the route variance in the two directions. You have here a preview of how this route will look like, and this is a route that is operated here in this borough and then goes across to the city. And if I pick another route, you see here direction A and B, for example. So you can very nicely see what you're going to do In this case, we say we would like to get the route number 4701, 4702, and 4703, all of those routes in both directions into the system. I'm loading this. I have here my preview of the routes I want to have, and now I'm selecting the import. And now I have here metro and bus data in the same map. And let's have a look at a bus route now. And the bus route here, you see route type is now bus. Let's switch back to a metro route. Route type is metro. So we have it all tagged correctly. A bus route has been tagged with bus and a metro with metro. I'm doing a couple of things just for the visualization now. I say I would like to see this map with a 1% padding, and let's have here the size of my map. You can leave this open, then it will be automated, but I think it's better to set it right now. And I have here metro, well, that's okay. The style of the map is not relevant right now because we're showing only the principles. I can now upload this map to the cloud, or I can upload and publish the map. I'm choosing this option, which basically means we can see the map immediately in the internet. I'm not going to explain all of the detailed options that we have here right now. I'm going to publish my map. It's fairly fast, and my map is published, and I see the map here in my scenario area. Here we have compilations and networks, and in order to get the data out in the internet, I need to create a compilation, which is the organization of my maps, and I can have one or more compilations as part of a network. Let's quickly do this. I'm calling this TML video here, and I'm taking my map, and I'm adding this map here into my compilation. I've added it. I'm uploading this to the cloud, and I'm done. And if I reset my filter, I have here my TML video compilation. And I have now to do the same thing with the network. So I'm adding here this, I have already a video TML network. I'm going now to remove this compilation, and I'm taking this one in. And that's basically what we have to do. And in this case, we are ready to look at our map. I can actually copy the URL of the map to the clipboard. I can straight open it in a browser. And here we see we are now in the network TML video, and I'm going to the compilation TML video. And here I have one map, the map that we just created together. And if I look at this, then we see here, it's not a beautiful map, but we have here the bus route, the orange bus route, if you remember, and we have here these colorful metro lines. We see here, this is the interconnect point here, Gare de Oriente. This is obviously on the metro line, and this here is on one of the bus lines that I have right now. So it's not organized, it's not beautiful, but we see it's all in. Just for your information, if I hold the map for a second here and I change to a different style, to this one, for example, then you see already that these lines are rendered differently. These are very large stops here. This is metro, very important. And this is a bus route, smaller bubbles, thinner lines, etc. And even if we wanted to, the labels could be different. For example, the metro could be black and the bus could be gray and things like this. We have not done this as of now, but you see already the style is automatically adapted to the mode of the transportation. And now, but how can we now find connections between those lines? Because ultimately this would be nice. And we, frankly speaking, also don't have connections here if we go like to the metro. They are in the same place, but they're recognized yet as connections because we just imported data and we haven't done anything with it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going back to the system and I'm making a copy of my data, I duplicate it, and I just call this the version number 2, let's say. I'm doing something with the data. We always recommend creating copies and working with versions of the map that you can always go back to it. You remember this screen here? We've been here before. We're just now here. The scenario name is in this area of the screen. Now, how does our system find connections? This is automated, but I would like to show it to you how this actually works. And for this, we're going here into our automation builder to show you how this works. I'm choosing the automation builder, and here we have a lot of mathematical and logical operations that help us to schematize the map. We want to focus here now on the connection, and I can go in here and see, for example, that I have here should be a connection between bus and metro. And I can have here an option. This is in the pre-processing of my whole automation rules, detect common points. And usually we recommend to use model reference, which is if stops have a common parent ID, for example, or if they're interconnected in the data, then we see that. And if I apply this automation rule, then I see, you see, I have a connection here between those two lines. Obviously, something has been modeled in the data, but unfortunately not to the metro and not to the other bus lines. So the data model is not giving us what we need. In this case, we can use approximation methods to find the connection. And if I activate this now you see I'm interconnecting all of those. My system has found them to be interconnected, let's say, because they have they are in a similar area, and then we group them together. Now, once we have found this, we can actually group those stops and we can build common points. We would like to treat them as one logical point in the network. And if I apply this, now you see this became all one stop. There are a lot of points behind here, as you see this in this little pop-up, but logically, we will treat this going forward as a logical point in the network for automation that we do. And there's a lot of other things that we can do. I would like maybe go back to the post-processing of the data. If we then say label visibility, that we say we would only like to show one in group. If I select all, well, I have here a bit of chaos because then I have different labels and so on. And if I have one in group, then you see I have given this one label. And this is according to an algorithm which we can explain at a different time. But this is already quite useful. We have not done anything with the beautification of the map. And I can now, this automation rule, I can save. And I'm saving this now, maybe on this TML video. I'm going to say organize or basic organization of my network. I save this, and now I have this saved as an automation rule, let's say. And now I can use the automation that I have saved before. And when I would like to apply my automation to my map, then I say here, generate schematic view. And it will ask me, do you want to use standard settings? We say no. We have done custom settings, and this is the basic organization automation rule that we have created before. And if I say okay, and maybe I draw your attention to this common area here, but it's done, and we have grouped this to one point, and we have shrank this down to one label. I can now publish this map as well. And we say, okay, we leave this here. And now we can have here is our map that we just created. You have here a very simple preview of the map. This is quite helpful if you jump around between different maps that you see it in the preview. But to see it in the internet, we have to open our compilation for editing. We take this map, we basically add it into the compilation. We are uploading this to the cloud. And if I now go to my browser and I refresh my browser, Then, and I'm going now here, let's say to get here a good view, I hold my map, and now I can switch via this navigation bar. I switch to my second map, and now see what's going to happen there. This is it. Now we have here the stop Oriente, and we have merged this together in one stop. And now, as a final step, we would like to show you how you generate a bit more of a sophisticated visualization with the help of automation sequences. And for this, we take here our raw data, we duplicate it, and we call this here maybe video number 3, just the next map that we're going to create. And here is my execute automation sequence command. To activate this, we have prepared here what we call a template. We will be explaining this in separate videos. And if I let my automation template apply this to my map, then we see here that we have here a more sophisticated view of the situation as well. And here I can also simply render a preview of the map. And if I go now into this area, then you see that we have here this interconnect at this point Oriente. We have here the route numbers. We have here a bit schematized about how the buses come and go, basically from the stop. And this would be the more sophisticated view. I can also publish this map as we have done before. I can leave this here. I again open my compilation. I'm taking my map number 3. I add this to my compilation. I'm uploading this to the cloud. And if I now move back to my browser and I refresh my browser, and then I have here also my map number 3 available. And if we zoom in here, then we have exactly this situation. And obviously, from a design perspective, we would probably do something like this here, where we then see a very beautiful connection between the metro and the bus routes done with the help of the system. Thank you very much for your attention.